Hey everyone, I am completely sorry that I am 15 minutes late. As I told you guys on Facebook World a little bit ago, my doctor's appointment for my allergist ran a little bit late. I could not put it off any longer. This was the only appointment they had, and they said they'd be able to get me out in time, but the breathing thing for the asthma and all that stuff took a little bit longer than anticipated. But thank you for joining. I'm just getting everything set up. I'm hoping that I can get my laptop up so that I can also follow along this. This month was if I'm not mistaken, we did 5 ingredients or less for our recipe. And so we ended up doing, I believe, I'm trying to remember what our next month is, but it is also going to be virtual as well and live. We are not allowed to have programming yet in the library. So we will have a different theme next month. But this month we wanted to do something 5 ingredients or less. And the reason why we chose 5 ingredients or less was because we were thinking of the different ingredients that people have in their homes, especially during this time when you can't get out and do your shopping as much as you can, and that you normally maybe have stock pantries. What do you normally have in your pantry that you could whip together? Maybe you have a friend coming over. Maybe you're just feeling curvy like I am. I stepped on the scale today, and I'm only going to test 1 or 2 of these afterwards. I'm going to try to give the cookies away because I need to not, being stuck at home the past 2 months. So it's really a easy recipe. I chose, they called them quarantine peanut butter cookies because it is literally 3 ingredients. It's a cup of sugar, a cup of peanut butter, and 1 egg. You make that, mix it all together. You form your dough balls like you normally do. You bake that 10 to 12 minutes at 325. So this is actually the first time I'm trying this recipe. So we're going to learn together. I was going to do this beforehand to try it out, but then I figured, what the heck, let's all, do this together. We'll learn as we go. Maybe I need to add something, more in the other. If you guys are joining us, we are going to do our Facebook Live cooking class. And we appreciate you guys following through with us and watching them because of the fact that, we've been working from home, and due to the fact that we're going to be opening, hopefully, to patrons on June 8th, we are still not going to have any in-house programming. So things for us has looked completely different. Technology-wise, some of the stuff is back in, our offices. So it's been a process. I am trying to get the Facebook page up, so if you guys do leave comments, I can kind of follow as you go. But as that's going, I'm just going to get my sugar ready. Now, this is just a half cup. I couldn't fit the full cup in here, and I didn't want to make a mess. So I'm going to do and measure out and we're going to just make 1 single batch. I'm assuming that you'd probably be able to double this super easily, but we're going to do that. So right here is 1 cup of sugar. We're going to put that to the side. And we're also going to do 1 cup of peanut butter. And I learned a little tip. Either you could have started out putting your egg in first, but it's because I already did the sugar. Now, this is one thing that they do say. I can't remember where I watched this, but sometimes you do get eggs that aren't the greatest. They might have a little bit of the blood in them, or, they're just a little funky. The best thing to do is tap your eggs into a separate bowl before you put it in, unless you're doing your eggs by yourself already. But I like to kind of get my eggs ready and then add it in. So I put my eggs in a separate bowl. That way, if anything's wrong with the egg, I didn't ruin the ingredients that I just did. I'm going to step over to my garbage can and tap this out real quick. All right. So we got 1 egg. I know that's kind of sometimes a waste, but because I am cooking with you guys today, you watching, I didn't want to completely have to restart over with the sugar. And for some of you, it actually might be hard to find sugar and flour because a lot of more people have been baking at home, so they haven't had it too much. It's hard to find all the baking because more and more people are making things at home. So I'm going to set my stove for 325. My husband's going to kill me because it's going to make it so hot in here. But The AC is on. We finally caved, so we have to do it. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and tip my egg right into the sugar. And as I do this, I'm asking you guys to share some of your quick recipes. When Kim and I were devising what theme we wanted to do this month, we really wanted to pick something. And let me see if I can pop this on. It's so hot in here. But the AC is on. We finally caved, so we have to do it. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead. There we go. Now we can't hear, but I can see the comments, if anybody leaves comments. Perfect. All right, so we are good to go. But when Kim and I were trying to devise a way of what we could do for a theme, we wanted to choose themes that you could do at home. But then we also kind of use it for our own personal gain. We're really asking you guys in the commentary to leave your recipes. So for this month, leave anything that is 5 ingredients or less. If it's 6 or 7, okay. But we were really trying to do something fun where some of these ingredients would be what we already had, or if you had a limited time to be able to get in and out of a store, you could do this. And so we chose a dessert. Obviously, we loved sweets. But, you know, if you have something that's more of a meal, that's 5 ingredients or less, that's perfect. I'm actually going to talk to you guys about a recipe that I found on Facebook that people have been sharing. I don't know if any of you have seen that. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to roughly eyeball it because it is going to be so hard. And I know if there's professional cookers here, I know baking is literally the exact science, but the ancestors will hopefully tell me to stop when I've added enough peanut butter. Let's do one more. We'll see what that looks like. If you have seen the recipe being shared, and obviously this is I'm not trying to sell anything or do anything. I've tried it myself personally. But that recipe with the noodles, the chicken breast in your crock pot, and you use that Olive Garden, one of those Olive Garden things to do it. It literally is so good. There is, you put 1 block of cream cheese, 4 to 6 frozen chicken breasts. Now, we did a whole bunch more, so I kind of played around with the ingredients so that we would have a little bit more. But the original recipe is a block of cheese, cream cheese, a bag of shredded Parmesan cheese, 4 to 6 chicken breasts, one of those things of the Olive Garden Italian dressing, but not the Italian, it's the creamy Italian dressing. And you need a box of noodles. So what you do is you mix all of this stuff together except for the noodles. You put that in your crock pot. So you lay your chicken down. You put everything else on top. You cook it low and slow for 6 hours. And then about 10 minutes, 20, I actually had to cook my noodles a little bit longer. Whenever you want to eat, do it. Give yourself at least 20 minutes or so to put your noodles in, get the noodles cooking. Now, I did fine because I put more Parmesan, a little bit more cream cheese because I did so much more chicken that I needed a lot more time to do my noodles. And I also needed to add just a little bit of water. So I just kept adding a little bit of water here and there. Now, that's, I believe, 5 ingredients or less, or dang near close. And if you try that out, let me know because I loved that recipe. My husband and I pretty much was able to make enough for 3 days. So we had it for 3 days in a row. I like leftovers. Some leftovers I get tired of, but I will tell you that I did not get tired about these leftovers. So I'm going to mix this up and I'm going to kind of gear it up a little bit and see if I might need to add a little bit more sugar depending upon my peanut butter. And what I will do is I will take a picture after this is complete and I will show it on Facebook with when it is done. And I'm going to show you right now. It looks a little more moist, and it might be because the peanut butter is actually a creamy peanut butter. It's a natural one, so it actually has a little bit more in it, in my opinion. So I might add a teeny bit more sugar just to help kind of dry it up. But let me give it a little bit more time. And if you see me looking here, I'm also recording this on one of the library's iPads. I was going to go live on our YouTube channel, but because of the delay, I did not want to delay you guys anymore since you guys knew I was coming live on here. So let me see. I'm just going to add a smoogen. I'm going to waste again. Just a smoogen. I don't want it to turn out weird. Baking and I guess cooking is all just sometimes by eye. You know when it's done, if it looks a little bit too, you know, dry. Almost like when I was making that pasta thing in my crock pot. I just knew I needed a little bit more water to get the noodles cooking. Okay, this looks a lot better. And I'm going to get my fingers a little bit messy, and I don't see any comments popping up, so please forgive me if I can't read them or see them. We're going to move that out the way. And I am a huge lover of parchment paper. I also have these. And actually, I have not used them yet. We registered them for our wedding a while ago. But they are the Bake Grill Mats. We've heard really good things about the different types of them, but I just haven't really ventured into using them. I'm just a huge parchment paper user when I bake cookies and when I'm doing certain things because I feel that they come off a little bit better. If your cookies are a little bit, I guess you could say, oily or greasy, it kind of sops it up a little bit and it makes it so much easier to pull it off. So I buy parchment paper. You can buy it from any store that sells that type of stuff. You can get it from the Dollar Tree. You can also get it from Aldi's. Aldi's has this wonderful long one. The only bad thing is this is my biggest cookie sheet and it is a little bit longer. If you feel a little bit more comfy, cut it out so that it fits a little bit better. But I don't notice a huge difference because I'm not baking it hardcore a long time. So I do make sure that I'm just pushing it down, and then sometimes I'll even fold it a little bit so that it's not as much. You will see parchment paper will get brown where the food or the pan's not directly touching it. It gets a little bit browner quicker. Yes, Burke County, the FRN, Burke County Hancock Family Resource Network. Yes, we will share it, but I will say it again, it is this easy. A cup of peanut butter, a cup of sugar, 1 egg, and then you will bake that 10 to 12 minutes on 325. So they literally called it the quarantine peanut butter cookie because I guess everybody was trying to share recipes that would be super quick and for different things that you had in your house. Most people would have some sugar, maybe some peanut butter and eggs. So it was kind of like your staple one. But if you guys are at all interested in the one recipe that I made, that was the crock pot one, I will definitely share that personally. I did take a picture. I think I might have taken a picture. It's divine. It is so delicious. I swear I didn't know it was going to be that good. And Josh and I were definitely saying that it is a staple now. I'm not wearing gloves, so I am going to touch this with my hands. It is being made for just my family's consumption, so I'm not too worried about that. Let me actually take off my rings. If I had my rubber one on, it'd be a little bit easier. Yep, don't see anything more. And I'm going to take this the typical way that I would do in my cookies. I love baking cookies, and with that little bit of sugar, it helped it form a little bit more. I'm thinking too, if you have a different size egg, it's definitely going to affect the texture a little bit more. I think our eggs were, without doing this, what size eggs do we have? Ours are called the large kind, but I know if you're using the medium or the extra large, it could also affect it. So keep that in mind as well. You might just need to play around. I'm going to do just a little fat ball of dough. And I'm going to see how many we can get safely out of here with these nice little ones. And then also remember, when you are cooking, or baking, I should say, cookies, the bigger the cookie, the longer it takes the smaller the cookie, the quicker it takes. So it's kind of like, you know, the old thing that we learned in science class. And I'm going to see if I have a few other recipes that I can share in the comments below that are 5 ingredients or less. But I'm definitely going to share this one with you guys. But I definitely want to also share the crock pot one, because I'm telling you, if you are a noodle lover, you love chicken, it is going to be the dish for you. And Parmesan, we actually used 2 bags of Parmesan because I was putting so much chicken in. And you do not want to thaw your chicken. You do want it the frozen, because the water and the juices from it help, you know, make everything else cook. So let's get this. Do I have anything? I heard a vibrate. No, we're good to go. Please, if you have questions, comment. I can definitely use some talking. When I went to the doctor's office today, I felt like I was back in the world of living because I had people that I could actually talk to. But felt like my allergies were finally getting the best of me, and I didn't want to be sniffling all the time in the libraries. So we're going to do it. So it looks like I should be able to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Might be able to at least get a dozen with these fat ones. So it looks like if you were to half these in half, you'd be able to get a lot more in it as well. And of course, I will taste test these when they're cooked. I will let you know if they are safe to eat. And Kim and I would also like to ask you guys a few things. If you can think of any virtual programming that you guys are excited or you want us to do. If you have not saw, Kim was a star on YouTube the other day. We did share the link. She did a craft tutorial. So if you're looking for something fun to do at the house, wax paper, computer paper, she said worked. If you have some of the fancier stuff, it will work. As long as it's more of a see-through, it will definitely work in your windows. Looks like I might actually get a baker's dozen out of here. So yeah, it looks like you can actually get about 12 full-size cookies from this recipe, or split them in half and then you can almost have 24 of them. I'm gonna have to see how much this does. So yeah, it does look like I'm gonna get 13 out of here. Let me move that out of the way. And then I remember my grandmother. She was the cookie maker of the house. You knew it was Christmas when Elvis came on and the dining room table was completely cleared of everything with newspapers and different stuff put down so she could dry everything. But she was the cookie maker of the family, and she taught me this little trick to making the hatch marks. I'm just gonna grab a little saucer and just add a little bit of water on it. And then what you do is you take your finger or your fork. So if you've never made peanut butter cookies, to kind of make the hatch mark on it, they just use a fork. But to help it not stick, you just wet your fork a little bit. And then when I'm done doing these, I'll actually give you guys a close-up. Just dip it so it's not sopping wet, but it at least allows you to do it without it sticking. And these are actually going down perfect. And these look like this might be a little bit more of a moist peanut butter cookie. I'd like to do some research to see some of the other recipes, because I know some other peanut butter recipe cookies call for a little bit more. But we are looking to do a few more video tutorials, different classes that can be done virtually, because I will say probably for the next few months you're going to be seeing some of our programs being done either through Zoom, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, things of that nature. So we're definitely looking for your guys' feedback. We know it's not going to be exactly, you know, like it used to be, but, you know, we have to have a new norm for a little bit. And if you guys did not know, We do have ebooks. We do have e-magazines. So if you are e-magazine lover, there is over 3,000 magazines that you can check out, different languages, different topics, everything. It can all be done with your library card. So if you have any other information or questions, you can definitely email us or call us. What I will do afterward, I will also share the link to our bcplvirtual.weebly.com page. Literally what it is just everything virtual that you can have access to from the comforts of your home, and all of the information about our reopening phases, plans, and everything. So it's going to be a bit. I'm asking everybody, if you are a hardcore library user, to read our plan. If you have questions, let me know. But we want you guys to be prepared that things are going to kind of be a little bit different. For the time being, you know, there's not going to be browsing. You're going to actually have to request the books from our staff. So it's going to look a lot different than traditional. Obviously, us as library staff, we're so used to being able to go and get everything that you guys need, and trying to help you with computers and everything. But for this time, we're just trying to protect both our patrons and our staff at the same time. So that's where we are with our reopening, but I am almost done. I'm going to show you this, and then if there's any other questions, let me know. But let me see if I can flop this around. Perfect. So you will see I kind of had to mix mash it. The only problem is these could eventually touch, but I've never seen peanut butter bleed out too much once you pop them down. But those are our finished products. And then, like I said, what I will do is I will put it in the oven right behind me, 325. It is noting 3 to 12 minutes, or I'm sorry, 10 to 12 minutes. So what I like to do is I like to put it on the lower end when I'm first making it until I learned it. I'll do it for 10 minutes, and then I'll kind of add my increments at a time. So this will go in. I will sit here and wait for them to come out. And then as soon as these are done and I'm back upstairs in my office, I will start sharing all of the links, the images, everything for you guys to have. But if there's no questions and I don't see any additional comments popping up, I do appreciate you guys joining us today. I'm horribly sorry that I was about 15 minutes late. Again, my doctor's appointment ran a little bit longer than anticipated, but we have our, I think this is what, our third Cook by the Book recipe class in the books for Facebook. So if you have anything to add, if there's something that maybe you think I could have did something different, this is a learning. I'm sorry, my cat's deciding to use her litter, so if you do hear her, apologize. But you know, this is a learning thing. We're all learning together. You know, obviously I'm a librarian by day. I am not Betty Crocker. So I like to just learn as I go. But if you have any recipes, please share them. That is the huge thing that we enjoy having our face-to-face cooking classes, is that we bring these in, everybody gets to eat them, and then we literally talk shop. What are you doing? You know, was there a recipe that you love? Did you do this recipe and did you have to do something different because the recipe that you found wasn't quite right and you had to tweak it? So we are always loving to have this interaction. It's kind of hard to have the interaction and not have a ton of feedback. But again, for those that did view today, thank you. Again, if you have any other questions as well, comment below and we will definitely let you know. But thank you for joining us, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and have a good one.